How's it going, everybody? I'm Aiden Herb, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up and configure DMX lighting. Now, these steps are for people who want to create immersive lighting effects for their next event. Some examples of the lighting environments that you can create with these steps are Now those look great, but we're gonna have to start from the beginning. So you can start by getting some fixtures. Today I'm gonna be using some intimidator spots, but you can use any fixtures that you want because the beauty of DMX is that they link together through the DMX ports. So on most fixtures, you're gonna have a front control panel and then a back IO panel. And now these are the DMX in and out, and they use a DMX cable that look like this. So we wanna be able to control our fixtures, so we wanna be able to tell them what to do. We're gonna do that using a DMX controller, which will send out DMX signals to the DMX ports. The DMX controller I'll be using is the ADJ WMX1, and its output comes from the back DMX ports here. So the wiring process is going to go a little bit like this. So we're going to take a DMX output out of the back of the controller, and we're going to be using the daisy chain method. So we want to take the output of the controller and put it into the input of our first DMX fixture. So to continue the DMX daisy chain, we're going to take the DMX out of the first fixture and put it into the input of the second fixture. Now you're going to want to repeat this process for as many fixtures as you have so they're all connected to the DMX controller. Now we're going to need to power our fixtures. So luckily on these intimidators, they have a power pass-through. Now we're going to be using its power cable that looks like this. We're going to be putting the input into the input of the fixture, and then we can take the output and put into an extension cord or a surge protector or something like that. And then in this case, I can just plug in my second fixture to the output power of my first fixture. So we only have 2 lighting fixtures so far, and the cables are already looking a little bit messy. So if you're looking at a lot of lighting fixtures in your setup, then cable management is going to be really important for you, so you can tell which line goes where. So now that we understand the wiring process, now we can move on to the mounting process. Now here I have a test set up with some truss, but you can use any mounting method that you like, whether it's tripods or truss. But I'm going to be showing you how to mount some fixtures on this truss here. Now before you mount, you're going to want to take a step back and try to decide where you want to mount your fixtures. This is going to depend on the amount of fixtures you have and how big they are, and you're going to want to focus on things like position, angle, distance apart, and symmetry of the fixtures. Do keep in mind that you do have to wire all of these fixtures on the truss, so that might help you make your decision of where you want to mount them. In my case, I'm going to be hanging these side by side, evenly spaced, about at the middle. So for these mounts, you just open it up and then place it on the truss. And close it, flip this up, and screw it down. So I got the first one mounted, and I'll do the same to the other side. Okay, now that we have them mounted, we can connect our DMX cables and our power cables. This is what it should look like with all the cables connected, but let's clean it up a bit. Alright, that looks better. Now let's take a look at how we're going to control these. So we got our controller powered on, and we got our DMX coming out of it, but we need to send a signal to our moving heads, so we got to add them into our project. So let's click the fixture, add fixture, and then we're going to scroll down to the same brand, shove A, and then scroll down until you see, here we go, Intimidator Spot 155. And we're going to add 2 of them, add, and we have them in 11 channel mode, and we will do group A. So now they moved around, and we have 1 and 12. Now we need to go check the addresses on the back. So here's the control panel where we're gonna choose the address. Now, enter, now we need 1 and 12. So that's on 2 right now, so let's bring it to 1. And now it is active. Now for the other one, we need it on 12. Oop, that's down. 12. Enter. Now it is also active. So we set our moving heads to be on group A here. So any effect that you apply to group A will affect the moving heads. And if you had other types of fixtures, you could put them on other groups to control them individually. Now on the left side, some effects we can do. We can change the color parameters, the move parameters, and the beam effects parameters. Now all of these parameters will affect what the beam, color, and moving effects do when you press them. Now they're all active, so they're moving, changing colors, and messing with the beam. So you can change parameters like the speed of the color change, the speed of the move, the type of movement it does, and then the type of beam effect it does, which is like the fading effect. And they're moving and fading and changing colors. You can also manually change the colors here, a wide range of options. So now they're both red. You can also manually change the position, so we'll send them to the ceiling, and then we can send them to the floor. Some useful effects are listed on the right, such as strobe. You got blinder, turns it white. Speed speeds up all of your parameters on your effects. Blackout blacks it out. And you can toggle or press to hold any of these options. Go ahead and spend some time messing around with the effects that your controller has to offer, and with some practice you can get pretty good at controlling them live. Now there is a lot more to know, but knowing all these steps, you're well on your way on creating immersive lighting experiences for your next event.